Hello and welcome to this episode of Yavapai Speaks. As you're beginning to find out, we're talking about people, things, and places in Yavapai County. Now, for those of you in Georgia, Yavapai County is about an hour north of Phoenix, Prescott. You probably heard of Prescott. Probably not Seligman, probably not Will Hoyt, but Prescott, Cottonwood, Sedona, all of Yavapai County. So welcome to Yavapai Speaks, where I have gone ahead and beat the bushes to find individuals who really have something to share, not just politically, although this is the political season right now, and a number of my guests are political. They're running for office. And so I'm trying to bring these individuals forward so other folks in Yavapai County get to meet them. But for those of you in other locations in Arizona and outside, bear with us because I think you'll find some interesting facts with these candidates, who they are, what they're doing. So today, I'm glad that you took time out from your campaign to join us. This is Miss Shawn Dell Wildman, and she's running for the state legislature up here in Yavapai County. Actually, to be official, so I don't get an email, it's LD1. For those of you who go, oh, Dr. Lyle, wait a minute, this is LD1. What do you mean Yavapai County? Yavapai County is all of LD1, so it's synonymous. So, Shawn Dell, thank you for taking time out. You're in the middle of a campaign.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Now, you moved to Phoenix or moved to Arizona in 1981, so you've been here a little bit.
Yes, sir.
It must have been 7 or 8 when you moved here, because I got it in points. You know what I mean? So you moved here in 1981 in Arizona, and you've been in Yavapai County since 1994, I think it is. Quite a while. I remember your bio. Okay. But this is the first time you decided to run for office. What led to that decision?
Well, thanks for asking. My family has grown up here. My children grown up here, and they've enjoyed the freedoms that we have had here. We are lived rurally and enjoyed the freedom that has brought us. And so time has gone by, and I was asked by some people who are concerned about the direction that our county has been going. We're losing some of that rural feeling and the space that we came to enjoy. And so I agree with them about their concerns. And so I thought we'll just jump in and see if I can be helpful if the people would have me.
Excellent. Well, let me follow up with that. I receive your answer, okay, but I'm going to double back on it, but don't let that frustrate you. What would you say would be the top 2 or 3 issues that are plaguing you as you're running?
Well, one of the things that we find frustrating is the expansive growth. That's frustrating. We need to have people here that love our area as much as we do. And we have to be, I think smart growth is a good idea, but not in a way that other people might be thinking. So we need to be careful about how we're choosing to grow. So that's something that is concerning to me. The agenda that's been in our public schools, that has changed dramatically since my children were younger. And I don't see that being a better direction. I know Mr. Tom Horn has done some good things to dial some of that back, but we have a lot of work yet to do there.
Tom Horn's the superintendent of education for Arizona.
Yes, doing a good job, but we need more.
Tom's done a phenomenal job. I've been privileged to know him 12 years. You're right. He's a phenomenal job. Mm-hmm. So the growth of Yavapai County and the education issues in Yavapai County. What would be a third issue that's really caught your attention?
One of the concerns I have seen personally is a lack of regard for our law enforcement. That has changed dramatically.
Oh.
When we first moved here, our law enforcement were treated with the kind of respect that they deserve, and that has begun to change. That's not right.
Wow, you caught my attention on that. I was not expecting that. Great answer. So you become a state legislator. What I'm hearing you say, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody else does on my show. I don't know why, but they do. But you become a state legislator, what I'm hearing you say is one of your priorities is to really monitor law enforcement, that they are getting the support, the finances, the manpower, all of it that they need to accomplish a most difficult job.
A most difficult job, yes. I feel that they need to have more support, that they're out there doing a thankless job in so many cases. And if we don't have that thin blue line protecting all of us, if that's gone, we can expect chaos. And what we're seeing is young men and young women who are not necessarily looking for those careers at this point, because who wants to go into a thankless job when you have your whole life before you and you can do something? And these are people that want to make a difference. And if they're being, marginalized, that's not a career that most people would want to seek.
Okay. Now, you've been running, clean elections. Well, explain to our folks what that means, Andrea.
Clean elections is interesting. It's a bit of a job to qualify, and it's been fun to learn about it. I just would like to give a shout out to Mr. Mike Becker, who is ace in his job. He's worked with me and others getting through the process. And so clean elections means that we don't take large donations. We don't take money from special interests to run our campaign. Not interested in special interest money. I am one of we the people. And so we're just doing this on a shoestring because I don't want to be beholden to someone. So the other part of clean elections, which I learned very happily, is that the money does not come from a taxpayer base. It comes from moving violations and fines. There's a small percentage that's collected for that, and it's put into a fund, and it's available for candidates who want to run clean elections.
And what would be another area, another thing that you've learned that's caught your attention, that surprised you? Because you've been running now for just over a month or two. Okay, so this is all new. Yes. You've never run for anything before?
Never.
Ooh, so you got thrown into the deep end and started paddling really hard, fast.
I can tell you one of the best surprises. Can we talk about a good surprise? One of the best surprises has been the people. In the process of getting on the ballot and working the clean elections requirements, I have met so many wonderful, wonderful people that still have hope.
Oh,
it's battered. Their hope is battered, but they still have hope. And I've had meaningful conversations with people about the things they would like to see done differently or otherwise. The concern for patriotism. Our schools don't have the Pledge to the Allegiance in their classrooms anymore. Our children are not learning that. So I've spoken with parents and grandparents and people who've seen the long, bigger picture and how much we have moved away from that. Their concerns are for the amount of taxes. We've got people that have to work 2 jobs and both spouses working 2 jobs. And so who's minding the children? That's a concern. But the people themselves, they're patriots, they're waving their flags. They are looking for a return to what we knew before. And it wasn't perfect, but it was better.
Follow up on that, and it's going to seem like the same question, maybe with a little deviation on it, but what has been one of the biggest surprises? You jumped into for better, this is probably going to cost me an email and somebody's going to write me, but citizen here, and then you jump into the political arena a couple of months ago, and now you become a candidate, so you're more public. Yes. What has been one of the surprises that you've learned since you've not done this before?
Well, that's an interesting question, too, because
I wasn't sure how to put it, to be honest with you.
The first thing that comes to my mind, there have been many surprises. It's been everything.
Well, give us a couple of them, because they've got to be entertaining also.
Well, one of my favorite is how well received I have been providing an option on the ballot.
Okay.
I have been very, very well received for that. There are people who have expressed to me in gratitude, thank you for providing an option that wasn't there.
Okay.
So that's
another
lovely.
Surprise.
Another surprise is how much the people that I've met in doing some of these candidate things. So we talked about the grassroots people I met and how much they love our country. But it has been a joy to discover that in the Republican Party, I have seen that same thing. There are still people at the helm who love our country and are working really hard. They love our area. They love Yavapai County. They love Arizona. And they see the concerns that we all see. And there are good people in good places doing good work.
Now, you moved to Arizona in the 1980s, as we mentioned, but you moved up here in the 1994, 95. That's been a while. So you've seen change in Yavapai County.
Yes.
What also, in the same breath, what is some of the uniqueness of Yavapai County that really moves your heart to want to stand up and represent Yavapai County?
Well, it's a beautiful land. And I live, like I mentioned, rurally. And so when I drive from where I live to come into even Prescott Valley or Prescott, there is a huge American flag that is on the side of the road. There is a ranch. You've probably seen that flag. Yeah. It is absolutely beautiful.
But isn't that true also when you get into town, into Prescott?
Yes.
She's not in Prescott. Well, she is today, folks, but she's out of Prescott, one of these outsiders.
Yes.
Anyway, she's in Yavapai County, not people. But you're right. Isn't it fun when you come up to Yavapai County and start to come into Prescott? The flags are all over, aren't they?
The flags are all over. They are.
Yeah.
And in Prescott Valley, they love to put their flags up, along the side of 69.
Yes.
Prescott loves its flags.
Yes.
So I love that about these people. These are real Americana, and I believe for the most part we are rooted in our fundamentals of freedom here, and we would love to see them strengthened and restored. What we've lost, we would love to see that restored. Strengthen what we have and restore what we've lost.
What I'm hearing you say is that's also one of the motivating factors for you to jump in
Yes.
and run. I mean, people asked you to.
Yes.
But you've gotten into this thing.
Yes.
And, some days it's got to seem like putting uphill. It really is. Because it's not as exact a science as people like to think it is.
Right. Right.
But at the same time, you're seeing what makes Yavapai County so unique, which is the Americana, the patriotism, the old town, if you will, old town community, where people still wave.
They do.
Yeah.
To me, the best thing about the Legislative District 1, Yavapai County, as you mentioned, is the people. We do have stunning beauty that is inspiring as we look around, and we have our flora and fauna and our geology. It's all very unique here, and we love that. But it would not be a great place to live if that's all we had. It's the people. It's the people. They're loving, they're caring, they're compassionate, they look after their neighbors.
Yeah.
People wave. I just had someone today, I was trying to get gas, and my car was acting up. A bank card issue, imagine that. And there was a man at the counter next to me that said, "I can spot you that, let's put it on my card." And I had cash, so I was able to handle it. But where else is that going to happen?
That's a great little story.
Right? Where else is that going to happen?
You're right. My experience in Yavapai County, living here these past years, you do see the community. You do see neighbors waving and caring for neighbors still.
Yes, and we see people looking after children that are not necessarily their children. They're still watching in the street. That kid's a little too close to the street, or I need to go talk to that mama. Right? Right? We have old school ways here, and yes, I cherish those.
That's so cool. Well, my guest has been Shawn Dell Wildman. She's running for the state legislature in LD1, for those of you who are really particular, and all of Yavapai County. It's one of the same. And I'm so glad you took time out from your campaign. You got to be going in 20 different directions at the same time, which is an art form. I've been involved for 15, 18 years politically. I still don't have that mastered. How you go in 20 different ways at one time, but you're learning. Shawn Dell is running for the state legislature, and thanks for taking time out and spending a few minutes with us. And we'll see how it goes. The elections are coming up rather quickly.
Rather quickly. If I could just interject one small thing, which is to me not small, but it's huge. I'm the only candidate for this position that is endorsed by Miss Judy Burgess. It's a very humbling stewardship, and I take that very, very humbly, and I hold that with gravity. And so I'm very, very pleased that she has selected me to carry her name.
That's really neat. Senator Burgess is a longtime, very honored member of the legislature, both the House and the Senate. And I'll be in trouble on this one, but Senator Burgess is almost like a pioneer in Arizona. She's been here for 100 years. Oh, that's going to cost me, I know. She's not 100 years old, so don't write me. She's 90.
She's still beautiful. She's still a very beautiful woman.
She's a really neat lady. I've known her for many years. So that's really great that Senator Burgess has endorsed you. That says a lot right there. So thank you for taking time out and joining us. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this segment of Yavapai Speaks, and you'll join us again as we continue to take a look at what makes Yavapai County so special. It's folks like this, Senator Burgess, and many, many, many others that have positions publicly, but also very privately. You're going to meet many of them in the days and the weeks to come. So on behalf of Yavapai Speaks, I'm Lyle Rapacki.